Well, it is a day of days, uncles.
Indeed.
Hola. Hola. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasa? All of the tenses.
Quel pastore.
El Pastore, episode 127. And the hits just keep coming. We have a wonderful show this week. I'm going to talk, we're going to do geometry talk.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And I'm going to dub someone a saint.
Yep.
And I'm going to talk about why whenever the church takes 2 steps forward, they take 1 step back on a rake.
Yes,
And
indeed.
We got some more announcements this week. We'll do
Holy
a couple
cow.
really quickly, and then we
Yeah.
got another one that's really cool. Guys, go to howtoheretic.com. There is a new tab there, The Heretic. Oh my God. Show your heretic pride with a t-shirt, a coffee mug, a throw pillow, a tote bag, a shower curtain. You name it, it's there.
It's all there.
It's all there. So that's going on, and
I'm
it's
wearing
very
a How to
popular.
Heretic t-shirt right now.
You are.
I'm
You're the
actually
first.
sporting a heretic t-shirt. Yep.
Doug's in the merch.
That's right.
Doug's in the merch. And and what else we got? We got
That
the YouTube.
sounds like a farmer's in the dell and Doug's in the merch.
and the ox is in the mire.
We continue to grow our presence on YouTube, our segmented presence on YouTube. A ton of thanks to listener Vern for that continued project.
Yes,
Yep.
indeed.
And we have one major announcement. We've been waiting for a while to announce this, so this is really exciting. On April 17th of
Guys, the devil's going down to
Provo.
the devil went down to Provo.
Orm. Is
Yep.
it Orm?
It's I think it's in Orem.
They're the same.
I don't know where they're the same.
They're the same thing.
Lucian Greaves of the
Yes.
Satanic Temple
Yes.
is coming to Utah to speak
Yes.
at Utah Valley University, which is kind of the sister university to the secular version of BYU.
It's the good one.
It's the good one.
Semi-secular, yeah.
But it happens to reside in the same county, which is probably undoubtedly one of the most conservative counties in the country.
Yeah, definitely.
And the How to Heretic is sponsoring this event.
Yeah, we decided that
Woot woot.
we'd pony up a little bit to get a little bit of Satan into Provo.
So
needs to happen.
It's on April 17th, which is a Friday. It looks like he's speaking twice at 3 p.m. and again at 5 p.m. Tickets are free, but they're selling tickets so they know when they've sold out. They can manage the event. So if you are within driving distance of Utah Valley and you want to go to that event, it's on Friday, April 17th. We will talk about this a couple more times.
Some uncles will be there.
Some
Yeah.
uncles,
It's hard to know how many or who,
Yeah.
but some uncles will be there
Yep.
to say hello and
Right.
shake your hand. So if you even if you're not in the driving distance, fly.
yeah, fly in.
We're not going to stop you.
And we'll definitely talk about it. We were the students who formed the Student Secular Alliance at UVU reached out to see if we could help. We can't think of a better cause. We're going to have one or some of them on in the near future to talk about this event and the founding of the SSA in Utah County and how that process rolled out. But hooray, Lucian Greaves coming to Provo on our dime, your dime.
Yeah.
So it's exciting news. We can't wait to, God, I hope there's protests.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Try and get the word out. See if you can get some sneak it to the news or something.
That's right. And we will post a link to the ticket getting situation. It's free, right, Doug? It's a free event.
Yeah.
The ticket getting situation on this week's show. If I don't know if you guys remember this, but years ago during the Bush administration, when Michael Moore went to speak at the same university, the place nearly completely fucking disintegrated. There was so much strum and drang. So let's see if we can match that with our friend Lucian from the Satanic Temple, First Amendment hero, and all around good guy. Bringing the good news of the devil down to Utah County, and I just can't think of a better time to be had by the whole family.
All right.
All right.
Should we do a show?
Let's do a show.
Uncle Dan,
Yeah.
I like cubes.
Okay. Well, I'm more of a dodecahedron sort of guy.
Oh, very nice.
I don't
Sure,
know.
sure.
It just depends on what you like.
What was that one that we had to make? Is that the dodecahedron in algebra class back in junior high school? Remember?
Out of poster board and you staple it together.
Yeah, the big round one.
I don't know. Yeah, I hope so. I don't know. How many sides does it have? Was it 12?
Dodeca.
Then it's a dodecahedron, baby.
All right, there you go.
Isn't that 200 sides?
No, do 2, deca 10. I think it's 12. I think it's 2 plus
welcome
10.
to Geometry.
Geometry talk.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna stay Geometry Talk. So
yeah, Uncle Mark, I think you have some geometry, some sacred geometry to share with us.
sacred geometry. So, gentlemen, all around us there is power.
Power.
Wonder-working power. Not just in the blood of the Lamb, but all around us. But it's
Blood of the Lamb.
It's for
Somebody's
sure.
got to. At some point, we got to do like this whole like blood obsession thing because that's so foreign to me. Anyway, sorry.
But
Go
that's-
on with what you're
that's
doing.
That's a hymn, and our evangelical listeners out there will know
I
it.
know. It's
the
crazy.
wonder-working power of the blood of the Lamb. But the power is all around us, guys, in the cleansing blood of the Lamb. And when I say power is all around us, I don't mean the Nikola Tesla sense of an electrified atmosphere, though I do wish that were the case. And I don't necessarily mean the mighty power of the Aaronic priesthood, which is the might God grants to worthy individuals to battle, yea, even vanquish Satan himself on the plain of Megiddo, given every Sunday across the Mormon country to bored 12-year-old boys still unable to battle their own constant boners. No, brothers, it is not that awesome power of which I speak. On today's Power Hour, Hour of Power, discussion of power in under an hour, a subcategory of our Woo Out for Which to Watch Advisory Alert Bulletin, we look not at the critically wounded lamb, nor the mad Serbian inventor's dream of a planetary light bulb, nor even your preteen Mormon nephew's ability to force push the devil himself. Instead, we turn to the power of a shape. And not just any shape, dear uncles. Show me the power of a rhombus. Fools! Can you plug a juice tiger into a dodecahedron? Fat chance, morons. Will, I don't know, an oval perfect the vibrations of biodynamic wine? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? But you know what? A pyramid will. Yes, of course, a pyramid. A structure that preserves things forever. Built by several totally collapsed, not preserved civilizations around the globe. Those long-lost people surely have something to tell us about how to make everything last forever. Well, tiny sarcasms aside, though, the civilizations are long gone, but the pyramids are still there. Most of them, anyway. While anything that was put up can come down, tearing down 2.3 million stone blocks, some weighing as much as 80 tons as those in the Great Pyramid of Khufu, is a pretty Herculean task. So, pyramids from Egypt to Asia and, of course, Central America even today fascinate the mind, some normal, some abnormal. And many of those abnormal minds believe some pretty amazing things about these huge, structurally stable constructions. These ahistorical, fabulous loonies include the likes of Erich von Däniken, author of The Ridiculous Chariots of the Gods. We'll do a segment on that soon because, believe it or not, I'm actually reading it. Oh, no. Oh my God, it's so fun. It is the most amazingly bad, terrific book. I can't recommend it enough. Also, Zechariah Stitchin, author of The War of Gods and Men, in which he insists there was a nuclear war 4,000 years ago, among many other true facts. And, of course, Edward Case, an American psychic, lovingly known as the Sleeping Prophet. These big brains are devotees of what has become known as pyramidology. Or, as the Skeptics Dictionary prefers to call them, pyramidiots. Pyramidology is to Egyptology and history what Scientology is to science, essentially the opposite of it. While pyramids are of interest to those the word defines, any other rational connection ends there. These big brains are quite certain that either higher beings from the long-lost continent of Atlantis, that's Atlantis again, or aliens from the 12th planet that orbits far beyond Pluto, and or both, and or a hybrid of each of those, helped the Egyptians, the Mayans, and the Aztecs build their radically different pyramids. They also believe that the sunken Atlantis acts as some kind of subaquatic backdoor between North Africa and the Yucatan Peninsula, allowing these two ancient peoples to share recipes for building big stone triangles. So that's
Fools!
neat.
It was Lemuria.
Not a mention of Lemuria in this one.
What the fuck?
I know. I was heartbroken. I'm homesick
You
for
can't
Lemuria.
build a pyramid without a lemur. I defy you to do it.
The long, skinny continent. So we could go on and on and on about all this poppycock, like how Central American and Egyptian pyramids served entirely different functions. But to spare your brains from bleeding like mine has in researching this blather, let's just apply the time-tested how-to-heretic rule of thumb when marveling at the wonders of the ancient world. It is as follows, and I quote me. Just because white people didn't build it doesn't mean aliens did. That's it. Feel better? I thought you would. We could really just stop there like as an entire podcast. But let's throw caution to the brisk Atlantean wind and dig a pointy hole into where all this pyramidology has led us, shall we? The father of modern pyramid derp was an eager proponent of another sort of derp we need to discuss at length, partly because it's very wound up in the founding of the Mormon magical worldview, and that derp is dowsing. Frenchman Antoine Bovis, I guess his name is, was a big believer in pendulum dowsing, essentially using a little iron plumb bob thingy to look for things hidden underground. Most commonly, the thing dowsers seek is water, but they also seek oil, valuable minerals, or, in the Mormons' case, ancient treasures from a civilization that never existed. More on that another time. But if you want a fun little primer on it, listen to our segment about the Mormon Dream Mine in episode number 75.
Yeah.
So,
I love the idea of using a plumb bob on a string to see if something is down below you. Like, it's kind of always going to point there, so you're doing all right.
You know what? He's never going to be wrong until you actually start digging.
Right.
But back to the French tetrahedron enthusiast Antoine Bovis. The vast majority of believers in the wonder-working power of pyramids, even today, insist that Bovis came up with the idea of pyramid power when he himself was standing in the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid of Khufu in Egypt and noticed garbage cans, yes, garbage cans full of small animals.
What?
That had wandered into the pyramid and apparently unable to find their way out, starved to death, I guess. Anyway, Bovis noted that these heaps of unnamed animals were perfectly preserved despite the desert heat, and boom, pyramidal pet preservation was a real and true thing. Therefore, ipso facto, super beings from Atlantis and limitless power for all mankind forever, obviously.
Well, doy.
Except, by his own admission, in a pamphlet Bovis himself wrote, he never went to Egypt. Marvel at the intellectual diligence of our pyramidologist friends, won't you? Rather, in his pamphlet, I've read it, it's online and very brief, both in length and facts, Bovis claims the Egyptians could only have oriented the Pyramid of Khufu so exactingly with the help of dowsing. Bovis, when the only tool you have is a dowsing rod, everything looks like a pyramid, I guess. So, Bovis, in his own translated words, I have supposed that Egyptians were already very good dowsers and had oriented their pyramid by means of rod and pendulum. Being unable to go there to experiment and verify the radiations of the Cheops pyramid, I have built with cardboard some pyramids that you can see now. And this is the next best thing to going to Egypt, right? And I was astonished when, having built a regular pyramid and oriented it, I found the positive at the east, the negative at the west, and at the north and south, dual positive and dual negative. Okay, so any electrical engineers out there, he's talking about the conductive properties of cardboard, but we'll leave that for another time.
Well, and that's good to know, because when the whole time you've been talking about orienting the pyramid, I thought you meant the miracle that put the pointy end on top.
Well, that was a lot of trial and error, Doug. Okay. That's a story for another time, but there was some really ugly moments getting there. So he continues, a new supposition. Since with the help of our positive 2,000-degree magnetic plates, we can mummify small animals, could the pyramid have the same property? I tried it, and as you can observe, with the small fish and little piece of meat still hanging, I succeeded totally. Now, I've looked at the pamphlet, and whether or not he succeeded totally, we shall never know. He included no evidence whatsoever of his freeze-dried cat or beef jerky in his 4-page treatise, despite the year being 1930 and the scientific method being very much in existence at the time. We'll just have to take his silly French word for it. So,
but was there a picture?
No pictures of any kind. There was a picture of him. There's a picture of him sitting at a desk.
But no picture of the fish and the...
Or the pyramid.
No.
All right.
Well, and the other thing is, what would a picture of a fish do? He could have bought it that morning. Right?
Shut your fucking mouth. Are you calling him a liar?
He could have thrown it back in the lake afterwards, and it could have lived a normal life.
Oh, my God.
So, for some reason, Bovis's good word found its way to Eastern Europe, where a mysterious Czech radio engineer and paranormal enthusiast by the name of Karel Drabal took that word very seriously indeed. In 1949, Drabal submitted a patent application to the Czech Patent Office for his Pharaoh's shaving device, a little... This is so fucking crazy. I could literally just make this stuff up. I could literally...
I am not at all convinced you did.
You know what? One day I'm just going to make up some woo, and I'm not going to tell you. And you would have no idea. So
we're going to do that to each other.
Yeah. The Pharaoh's shaving device. A little cardboard pyramid with a little pedestal of waxed cardboard or cork inside. Drabal claimed that aligning a shaving razor just so inside this non-conductive craft project would keep the blade sharp for several hundred uses. It turns out there's an old European folk belief that aligning razor blades north-south when not in use or leaving them on a windowsill in the moonlight would keep them sharp. Is this true? Of course it's fucking not. What possible force is being brought to bear on the hardened steel edge of a razor by sunlight reflected off the distant moon? It's balderdash. So,
how dare you?
Somehow, Dan's got it in his bathroom. How dare you?
I've been sharpening with the moon for years.
So somehow Drabal's silly metaphysical sharpening box claims impressed two different budding authors and paranormal energy hobbyists. Both Max Toth and Patrick Flanagan were caught up in the fragrant tides of the Age of Aquarius. Important note, that's Age of Aquarius, not Rodney's Age of Aquariums off Route 21 just outside of Newark. Great deals there, but their procurement ethics are shady. Very, very shady. No, the Age of Aquarius was the magical Rumspringa of mounds of drugs, flower print shirts, and wild sex the baby boomers had before they all became Trump voters decades later. We know there's some fantastic boomer heretics out there. We love you guys. It's the rest of your generation that fucked it all up. So let's all hate them together.
Talk to them, will you?
Yes.
If you're listening to this, go talk to your other boomer friends. They need help.
Yeah. Your compatriots. So the other thing, as we've discussed, the Age of Aquarius is famous for is a blizzard of anti-scientific alternative explanations to pretty much anything. So out of the 60s poured every imaginable sort of crystalline, aura-peering, singing bowl, interplanetary, vibratory, third eye ashrams in Taos, and dolphin energy high priestesses in Maui, with gongs attuned to the 12th planet, that give this podcast an endless supply of material every week. And among those wacky and, yes, even harmful woos was the junk pseudoscience of pyramid power. As we've seen, the idea's journey from non-existent garbage cans of preserved cats and terriers to a random post-war Czech patent application based on a folktale to the mainstream of American hippie culture is an improbable and weird one. And we have the competing authors, as I mentioned before, Max Toth, author of Pyramid Power, and Patrick Flanagan, author of a totally different other book called Pyramid Power, to thank for its mainstreaming in the credulous states of America. In a very un-peace and love move, Flanagan sued Toth over the book with the same name as his that came out the same year as his, because as we all know, copyrights are the one thing pyramids can't preserve. The difference in their twin books matter less than the similarity of their outlandish claims, which, to extend the twin metaphor just a bit, are identical. They claim that the pyramids sharpen blades, as discussed, preserve meat, fish, and for some reason, dead cats forever. Sitting beneath the pyramid improves health, sex, and meditation. Food placed underneath the pyramid is more nutritious. Of course, I mean, this is obvious. Bad liquor turns to fine spirits after a week or so. And yeah, so think about that. And the Pyramid of Khufu is the most mathematically perfect building in the world. All absolute bullshit. I.M. Pei's glass pyramid in the courtyard of the Louvre in Paris is far more, quote, mathematically perfect, as is almost any structure using computer-aided design.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Is the massive Egyptian pyramid fucking amazing? Abso-fucking-lutely it is. Is it a, quote, mathematically perfect as any McDonald's built in the past 25 years? Well, no.
Nope.
Don't believe me? Believe the Mythbusters, who put the claim of pyramidologists to the test in episode 32, fabricating and aligning pyramids to the authors' Toth and Flanagan's specifications and placing perishables inside, which rotted at exactly the expected rate and the same as things placed outside of them. Now, despite many disproofs of this mythic human-alien hybrid ancient magical power, like so much woo, it has persisted since its introduction. Recall, if you will, in episode 15 of this podcast, that blue ribbon loon Jay-Z Knight was experimenting with pyramid power when the ancient Lemurian warrior and her business partner Ramtha first appeared to her. And in episode 119, we reported on Corky Ra and his Egyptian flying saucer tantric sex mummification religion, a local prophet and First Amendment hero right there in our fair city of Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Well, he was so taken with the idea of pyramid power, his mummified body rests beneath one with a cool motorized door just a few blocks from my house.
Yes.
The owner of Summerhill Winery, right nearby me here in beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia, who looks exactly like, and in fact, might be Michael Caine in a Weird Al Yankovic wig, stores his Pinot Noir and Riesling ice wine in a giant pyramid, claiming, as he sits crisscross applesauce and barefoot, that the sacred geometry vibrates the Riesling atoms into the perfect biodynamic something. You can look up his videos, Summerhill Wine, Kelowna, British Columbia. I dare you to tell me that's not Michael Caine. Staying here in Canada, pyramid power made a notable appearance. In the 1970s, the Toronto Maple Leafs turned to pyramid power after losing the first games in a best-of-7 tournament. Then, oh my God, they won the next 2 games, you guys. It worked.
What?
It worked.
Amazing.
It worked right up until they lost Game 7, and thus the tournament. Oh, well, they must have had a Fritzy pyramid. But out of this pointy sea of perfectly preserved bullshit rose a hero. An unexpected hero, but a hero nonetheless.
Was his name Fritzy Pyramid?
No. I give you 1,000 years and you can never guess who this person is. But you know who it is.
Tipper Gore.
Who is it? Oh, close. Who is this champion of sanity and skepticism? Why, of course, it is the Grammy Award-nominated sound engineer of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon and man whose project, the Alan Parsons Project, is named after Alan Parsons. That's right. In the mind behind 1982's Billboard #3 chart topper, say it again, Mark, chart topper, Eye in the Sky, thought this pyramid hooey was just as ridiculous as your dear uncles do. Now, I shouldn't be surprised by the Eye in the Sky turning a jaundiced eye to pyramidology, since, as we know, Alan is a longtime listener and a fan of the show, or he probably is, or he ought to be. Please listen, Alan. Anyway,
Hi, Alan Parsons.
On 1978's album titled simply Pyramid, Alan Parsons and his project took a mocking tone to the pyramid power craze in their song Pyromania, spelled with a Y, Pyromania.
Right.
And while Alan graciously said I could play the song on the show, our attorney Andrew said I could not. So here are the delightful lyrics, and I'm quite serious, as voiced by me. There are pyramids in my head. There's one underneath my bed. And my lady's getting cranky. Every possible location has a simple explanation, and it isn't hanky-panky. I have read somewhere in a book, they improve all your food and your wine. It said that everything you grow in your garden will grow pretty fine. Instead, all I ever get is a pain in the neck and yap, 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 yap. I've consulted all the sages I could find in the yellow pages, but there aren't many of them. And the Mayan panoramas on my pyramid pajamas haven't helped my little problem. I've been told someone in the know can be sure that his luck is as good as gold. Money in the bank, and you don't even have to pay for it if you fold. $1 in the shape of the pyramid that's printed on the back. It's no lie. You can keep the edge of a razor as sharp as an eagle's eye. You can grow a hedge that is vertically straight over 10 feet high. 70s progressive rock was extremely strange. All you really need is a pyramid and just a little luck. I have read somewhere in a book. They improve all your food and wine, and I've been told someone in the know can be sure of his good luck, and it's no lie. All you really need is a little bit of pyramidic help.
Whoa.
And scene. So,
That's amazing.
What Alan and the projects are telling us here via their musical stylings is that pyramids won't save your banana, turn your hooch to shivas, nor make your beloved cat a wonderful bookend for decades to come. The end.
Huh.
Wow. Well, it's not the end because you haven't told me whether I should go with the Toth or the Flanagan for my research.
I have to know.
What's the good one?
Well, I'll have you. I'll give you that answer shortly because I ordered both those books. Again, you should see what I click on Amazon. You should see what is suggested to me. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like Doug said the other day that Amazon thinks he's a woke Nazi.
Do you, Uncle Mark, do you remember our mother bought that series of books from like Time Life? They were like, Mysteries of the Unknown or something like that. It was like a series
vaguely.
of books.
Yeah.
And one of them was pyramids.
Oh, no.
And it was, I would give almost anything to get that series of books if it still exists somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure I could find it in 5 minutes.
But one of them was about pyramids. I remember I read it. And it was, planes won't fly over pyramids. All that fucking. And I was probably 12, and I believed in the Book of Mormon, so why the fuck not?
Right.
Yeah, totally.
At that point, you're primed
Garbage
to
in,
believe
garbage out.
whatever.
And I'm looking at the picture of Stephen Sipes of the winery,
Yes.
and that is absolutely Michael Caine in a Weird Al.
Yeah, it's not even a guy that looks like him. It's Michael Caine.
Yeah, it's absolutely Michael Caine in a Weird Al Yankovic.
We blew the poor man's cover. This poor celebrity is just trying to make some wine in rural British Columbia, and we blew it all up for him. Oh,
Well. At
least we did something today.
That's our skepticism at work, everybody.
Well, take care, and let's move on.
Indeed.